What's up, YouTube? It's the Action Figure Grader coming back to you with another video. And the premise of this video is something that I was thinking about because I'm a loser, all right? This is the kind of stuff I think about, and I'm not sure if that's normal or not. I tend to think it's not. But I was trying to figure out what Hasbro manufactured Star Wars toys are some of the most expensive or the most surprising in terms of price. Some of these that I included are not that surprising, but I was a little surprised at just how high they were. And some of them are errors, and some of them are, you know, pre-production type items, so maybe that they're not quite so surprising, but I thought I'd throw them in here. It's just kind of a nice, fun exercise, but the only caveat is that they could not be vintage collection or Black Series items. We cover those enough in too much detail on this channel. We cover the prices for TVC and for Black Series pretty regularly, and so I wanted to find stuff that's a little different, a little out there, and I thought we would kind of take a look at them. So here are some of the items I found. I'm not saying that they're all fantastic picks, but some of them really surprised me, and I think that you'll find it kind of interesting. And they had to be Hasbro related, so they couldn't go back to vintage Kenner type stuff. They had to be items that were manufactured post Hasbro's acquisition of Kenner. So the first one is a really cool one, and it's one of the very few I've ever seen. This is an AFA 100. A couple of you have asked in the past, have you ever seen an AFA 100? I've seen 2 or 3, and they're almost always this exact same figure. I've seen this one, and it's a different item every time. It's been several years, but anyway, this is a uncirculated 100 Gem Mint Power of the Jedi Jango Fett. That is a mouthful. That is what she said. But this is very, very difficult to get. I mean, you know, AFA is so strict with everything that to get a 100 is almost unheard of. And is it still a 100 now after being in a case and rattling around and shipping and all that kind of stuff? I don't know. But that's what they gave it, and that's what's on the label. And it was listed for $3,000. So this is like normally a $5 or $10 item, right? But it's very, very high grade. And I just thought it was worth showing to you guys because you don't see uncirculated 100 grades from AFA hardly ever. I bet there's less than 10 across every toy line on AFA census. That's just me guessing. I have nothing to back that up. Anyway, it was listed for $3,000. The sales price was $2,800. $2,800 plus $65 shipping. Now we're going to get into some more standard type items that were surprising to me, not graded, but these were a lot of 5 clone troopers. So these are 501st Legion clone troopers on those kind of wonky card backs with Yoda on there. I think these are Canadian, if memory serves. I'm not positive on that, but I seem to remember someone telling me that if you see Yoda on these style card backs, they're from Canada. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but anyway, for this lot of 5 on the Clone Wars 06 card backs, and again, I'm almost positive these are Canadian cards, they sold for $1,200. $1,200 with free shipping for a lot of 5 very modern Clone Wars cards. So it just shows you that Clone Wars 501st Legion clone troopers, even on these card backs, are very, very pricey and very in demand. But I was really surprised by how high that was for a lot of 5 of those. Next up, this is another kind of a cheat, but I thought I'd show it. This is a retro collection miscard. And so we've got the Mandalorian on the Armorer card back, so it's a factory error miscard. I've got the first edition retro collection Mandalorian on a Grief Karga card back. But this one's much cooler because it's got 2 different Mandalorians. You've got the Beskar Mandalorian on the Armorer card back, and several of these have sold, so that they've been in and about on eBay. And so this one was listed for $1,000, and this one sold for $525. There's 2 others though that did sell. One of them sold for $525, and another one sold for $450. So that gives you a little price range, and I'm sure there's more of these out there. It's just this one I could understand happening at the factory because they do look very similar. And you know, if I'm a factory worker over in Vietnam or China or wherever this was manufactured, it's close enough. They look pretty close. Those helmets look about the same. Let's call it a day and put them together. So I can understand how this one happened. I've seen probably 4 or 5 of these so far. And anyway, that just gives you a price range. So $450 to $525 for that miscard. Now we're going to dig into some of these these Dark Horse comic packs, these 2 packs. I've got a few of them, but nothing this rare. There's 2 or 3 in here that really surprised me. This is one that did not surprise me. I actually bought one very similar to this, and I just was not, when it arrived, it was damaged. And this might be that item because it had the exact same damage up in the corner. Now, when I bought mine, it was not damaged. The guy didn't pack it quite right. I said, don't wrap it too tight so the edges get damaged. Well, he didn't wrap the edges at all. And so they banged around inside the box, and it got a bad crease, as you see, just like this one. And I'm not sure if it's the same seller or not. I don't think it is because it's from a different location. But anyway, this one was listed for $585, and that's what the sales price was, $585 free shipping. So this is the 2-pack with Montross and Jester Muriel. These are kind of 2 Mandalorians along with a repack comic inside. I love these comic 2-packs. I really do. I just think they're so cool. And this is one of the more desirable ones. This is called the Open Seasons 2-pack. But one of the more expensive ones. Now, another one that I did not realize was so expensive is this one. This one's Exar Kun and Ulic Drama. And I don't know anything about those characters, but these are from the Dark Horse run. And this is Tales of the Jedi. Number 6 was the comic. It's been repacked. But it's a really nice 2-pack, but I had no idea that it's so expensive. It was listed for $800. The best offer that was accepted was $700. Now, I also found a sale for just the 2 figures loose by themselves complete. Just the 2 figures by themselves complete sold for $555 in an auction. So they are very desirable figures and probably pretty ripe for a TVC release if Hasbro wanted to kind of appease the masses with some figures that are very expensive on the secondary market. It would be kind of cool to see those. Now, I've heard that there's going to be a Tales of the Jedi animated series for Disney Plus, so maybe they will take that opportunity and repack these or retool these for the Vintage Collection or the Black Series. But I was really surprised by how expensive that one was. This is another one, comic 2-pack. I knew this one was expensive, but I was not surprised. I was not clued into recent sales prices. But this Clone Trooper and Clone Commander, it's a repack of Star Wars Republic issue number 53. It's got the reprint comic there. But these 2 clones are very, very pricey on the open market. And, they have like the camouflage, Kashyyyk kind of motif to them. This one sold for $875 in an auction plus $25 shipping. So let's call it $900. But just loose, another set sold for $760 on 24 bids plus $945 shipping. So those are 2 very, very expensive figures that, to me, you just slap on some camouflage paint onto one of these retooled clones and put it in a TVC package, and they would sell like hotcakes. So I don't know what Hasbro's waiting on, but this is prime for the Vintage Collection with an updated kind of mold. As you'd expect, a number of the more expensive items were vehicles. And so a mint and sealed box Legacy Collection Millennium Falcon. I found a number of sales for these Falcons, and they are very pricey, and they're also very large. This one sold for 625 pounds or $765 US. And the price points varied for these. I found a number of sales like this. They varied from, on the low end, about $600 all the way up to about $850. So that gives you a price point if you're crazy enough to want to have that in your collection room. There's not much room for that. Now, this one was kind of funny because I included it. I was like, wow, this is really expensive. This was a lot of 3 from the Saga collection. It included Jabba's Palace, so Jabba on a mint on card, Elephant Man, Armand, and then Chewbacca with a damaged C-3PO inside. I had no idea that they were that popular, but they were listed for $800, best offer accepted. I was like, well, I guess I'll include it in the video. Well, I did go to 130point.com and look up the sales price. The sales price was $165, so quite a bit less than the list price of $800. But nevertheless, I still wanted to include it because I had no idea that these 3 Saga Collection figures were as pricey as they were. Now, Elephant Man, I've seen first shot prototypes for that figure, and I've always wanted one of those, and I've bid on a couple of them over the years, but I just never have won one. The first shot unpainted prototype for that figure can go for $400 to $500 really easily. But for just the standard retail releases for these 3, somebody was willing to pay $165 for it, and I thought it was worth sharing that. This was another lot. This is the Jedi High Council, scenes 1 through 4, and scenes 1 and 2. So it's got scene 1, scene 2, scene 3, and then it also has them in alternate packaging. So it looks like they've repacked them, or there's some slightly different characters there, but this was for a lot of 6 of them. And these sold for $675.95. So very cool items, though. I had never seen these before, to be honest with you. These just, you know, I can remember the scenes very vividly from the prequel trilogy, but pretty cool to see all of these figures mint and sealed box like this. You often do find these figures either loose, individually packaged, or first shot prototypes. And the prototypes are not very expensive. You can usually pick those up for 50 to 60 bucks, depending on the figure. I know that Yaddle, the Yoda-looking alien, his first shot prototype can be pretty pricey, just because he's, you know, Yoda collectors like to get him. But very cool to see all those. But big money for that lot of 6. Another one that I always loved, and I came close early on, probably 5 years ago or so. I don't know exactly when, but I came close to getting one of these. I was going to be crazy enough to get one of these, because this is the Clone Turbo Tank. I don't know what it is about this vehicle. I just love the way it looks in the packaging. It's got a little window there for a launching speeder bike that shoots out the back. But this is on the Clone Wars packaging from an era long gone where you'd find stacks of these at retail. I remember seeing these at retail. This sold for 500 euros or 526 US dollars. A really cool vehicle that if I had unlimited space, it would probably be in my collection by now. Another one, I didn't realize how expensive it had gotten, but this is the Saga Collection Imperial Shuttle. This was a Target exclusive, and it's a big box, I'm sure. But I knew that any kind of Imperial Shuttle, just because of its size, has always been pretty pricey. But this one was listed for $600. The best offer that was accepted was $400, and I found a number of other data points that were even higher. $450, $500. So very expensive. It looks like it includes Darth Vader as well as an Emperor's Royal Guard there, with kind of a plastic robe for the ERG versus a cloth robe. Pretty cool item, but again, way too big for my collection. Here was another AT-AT, and this is kind of the blue Clone Wars style packaging. That one sold for 485 pounds or 594 US dollars. A couple of other vehicles, one of which I actually am crazy enough to own in my collection, and that's the Battle of Christophsis Target exclusive battle pack. It's got like a walker as well as the enemy droid tank, and this lot also included the Battle at the Sarlacc pit, which was another Target exclusive. Very cool item there. I've got the Battle of Christophsis graded, believe it or not, and it's right there. You can see it up there. It's way too big. I don't know why I did that. It was just crazy, a crazy time, okay? It was a heady time for AFG. I don't know what I was thinking. But anyway, this lot of 2 Target exclusive battle packs was listed for $600. It sold for $550. Free shipping. So, but I love the way it looks. Don't get me wrong. I think it's a really cool battle pack. It's got Anakin. It's got some clone troopers as well as some battle droids, a super battle droid. Very cool item, but very, very big. This battle pack's another very desirable one. It's got some ARC Troopers battle pack with some multi-language on the packaging. That one sold for $585.99 on free shipping. Very cool. I think this one was a Canadian release because it's got the multi-language on the back. So yeah, you can see down there Hasbro Canada. So this was distributed by Hasbro Canada. It's probably the main reason why it was so expensive, because the US release for this battle pack did not have the multi-language labeling on there. And I'm going to finish this video off with a couple of prototype items. This was a really cool one. This was a mock-up Power of the Jedi 12-inch prototype Luke Skywalker. And here it is. And it looks kind of retail release-ish, but if you read the notes here, it says it's a first shot Luke Skywalker prototype in mock-up box. His outfit is in non-production colors and everything is hand-painted. Some of the accessories have come unglued and are at the bottom of the box. But a very cool prototype. You often see mock-ups where Hasbro and engineers were first designing the figures. So they did first kind of samples and they, hand painted it, and then they kind of mock it up inside the packaging to see how it would look inside the retail box. So a very cool item. It's just really interesting that all these accessories were all, not all of them, but some of them were just glued to the insert on the back. Probably like the ones that you see here on the left-hand side. These all have little zip ties, as you can see. But these on the left, some of them anyway, don't have anything. So I'm assuming that it's probably either some kind of stud behind it or they were just glued on for the purpose of testing it out. But anyway, kind of a cool prototype. You don't see that prototype very often. It was listed for $650. The best offer that was accepted was $490. Finally, we got a UKG 80% Power of the Jedi unpainted Tusken Raider. Very cool presentation. Unpainted prototype. So here's the label on that. Prototype non-sonic welded. So this figure was non-sonic welded. I'm surprised that it wouldn't stay together inside the case if it's non-sonic welded. It's just very risky there that that thing could kind of tumble apart without having any brackets in place. But nevertheless, it was UKG 80%. It was listed for $500. The best offer that was accepted was $400. So anyway, kind of a mixed bag there. Some of these are obvious, kind of expensive items. Some of them are not, and I just thought it was kind of a fun exercise to look at Hasbro manufactured Star Wars toys that are not TVC or Black Series and just see what kind of sales prices we could find. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll be back soon.